You're welcome back to the channel. Or if this is your first time here, you're welcome to the most entertaining crash course on YouTube. Today, we're diving into something every content creator needs: the art of storytelling and how to keep viewers hooked. Here's the deal: if you're a visual content creator, you know how tough it is to keep people watching your video. Attention spans, they are shorter than the time it takes to microwave your leftovers. So, how do you get people to stick around, watch the whole thing, and then actually come back for more? The answer: storytelling. Today, we are not just talking about any storytelling, but storytelling that keeps viewers engaged from start to finish. And I'm going to share some funny story along the way to prove just how powerful this art form really is. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.
Like and subscribe.
So, firstly, why is storytelling your secret weapon? Why does storytelling even matter? Here's a secret: human brains are wired for stories. You ever notice how you can forget where you put your keys in 5 minutes, but you can recall a story your grandma told you years ago, word for word? That's because stories trigger emotion. And when people feel something, they remember it. Think of it this way: when you are creating content, you are not just uploading videos, you are inviting your viewers on a mini journey. And if you want them to stick around, you've got to make that journey worthwhile. Give them a beginning, middle, and an end. Just like a roller coaster, they can't wait to ride. Secondly, how to build a story that hooks viewers. All right, now that we have established the why, let's talk about the how. How do you create stories that keep your audience glued to their screens? I'm going to give you a 5 step process I like to call the story framework. First, S, setup. This is your hook. The setup is where you establish the problem, the mystery, or conflict that gets people curious. Think of it like the opening scene in a movie. There's got to be something that makes you want to know what happens next.
You still don't want to talk, Abby? Look at me! Look at me! Let me explain something to you. I'm not your regular detective. I will mess you up!
Let me give you an example from real life. Picture this: it is 2 a.m. I'm in bed, all tucked in, cozy and warm. Suddenly, I hear a strange noise coming from the kitchen. My brain immediately goes, is it a ghost? Is it a burglar? Or, and this is probably more accurate, is the refrigerator being weird? But guess what? I've got to know the answer. So what do? I get up, grab a broom, because that's obviously going to protect me from a ghost, right? See, that's the hook. You have to know what happens next. And in your content, your audience should feel the same way: curious and invested. Give them a reason to stay. Next up, T, tension. Once you've got people's attention, you need to build some suspense. In storytelling, tension doesn't always mean action or danger. It could be something as simple as a challenge that needs solving or a question that needs answering. Imagine I just heard the noise and immediately found out it was the fridge being weighed. Boring, right? Instead, stretch it out. Maybe I peek around the corner, the light flicker, and I hear another tone. Now, that's tension. In your content, draw your viewers in by creating this little moment of what's going to happen next. It's like watching a suspenseful movie. You don't want the answer right away, but you're also too invested to walk away. Now we are on to O, obstacle. Every good story has something that stands in the way of resolution. For me, it was my overactive imagination, thinking I was about to face down a haunted fridge. But for your videos, it could be anything. Maybe a technical challenge you are trying to solve, a personal story about overcoming a fear, or even just navigating a difficult concept. When you include obstacles in your storytelling, it keeps viewers engaged because they want to see how you will overcome them. People love rooting for the underdog or seeing how a problem gets solved. So, think about what obstacles you can add to your content, whether it's a project you're working on or a challenge in your personal life. Let your audience come along for the ride. All right, we've built tension, first obstacle, and now we're ready for our resolution. This is where you reveal the answer, solve the problem, or reach the end of the journey. Your viewers have stuck around to see how it all ends, and now they get their reward. And there it was, the source of the noise, not a ghost, not a burglar, but an overflowing bottle of soda fizzing all over the place. Yes, the big mystery was carbonation. See, it is all about that satisfying moment when the pieces comes together. In your content, make sure the viewers feel like the time they invested was worth it. Whether it is a tutorial, a story, or a challenge you are sharing, give them that feeling of, that's the solution. It keeps them coming back for more. And last, but definitely not the least, letter Y. You, your story, your content has to have you in it. Your unique voice, perspective, and personality are what makes it stand out from everything else out there. Here's the thing, no one can tell a story exactly like you can. Sure, thousands of people might be making tutorials or vlog, but your voice, your spin on things is what will set you apart. So don't be afraid to get a little weird. Share personal experiences or inject humor into your content. You do you, and your audience will appreciate the authenticity. And thirdly, how storytelling boosts view retention. Now, let's talk about how storytelling affects your view retention. YouTube algorithm loves retention. It is what gets your videos recommended to more people. And guess what? Storytelling is one of the best ways to keep people watching. When you watch a video that just jumps from point to point, you might get bored and click away. But when there's a story moving around through the content, you are more likely to stick around because you want to know how it ends. Your brain gets curious and it's hard to stop watching. Here's an example. Say you're watching a video on how to improve your photography skills. Now, if the creator starts with a personal story about how they accidentally took the worst photo of their life at a wedding and shows you how they improve over time, you are probably going to stick around to see how they turn things around, right? That story makes the content relatable and engaging, which brings me to my fourth part, adding humor and personality to your stories. Humor is a great way to make your stories memorable and fun. People love to laugh, and if you can entertain while you educate, they will stick around longer. But humor doesn't have to be forced, just be yourself. Here's a quick embarrassing story to prove my point. I once filmed an entire video for this channel thinking I was nailing it, only to realize halfway through that my camera had been out of focus the entire time. So basically, I recorded an ultra blurry potato quality masterpiece. I showed my friends and they were like, is this some sort of experimental film? Don't be afraid to embrace those awkward or funny moments. It makes your content more relatable. And finally, number five, final tips to master the art of storytelling. Before we wrap up, let me give you a few final tips to really master the art of storytelling for your content. One, know your audience. Think about who you are talking to and what kind of stories they will relate to. Craft stories that resonate with them. Two, keep it concise. A good story doesn't have to be long. Get to the point, build tension, and resolve it in a way that feels satisfying. Three, use visuals to enhance the story. Don't just tell stories, use clips, animations, or even on screen text to add layers to your story. Four, end with a cliffhanger. If you want viewers to come back for more, leave them with a question or tease. what's coming next. And that, my friends, is how you use storytelling to keep your audience glued to their screen. Whether you're making vlogs, tutorials, or even short films, the power of a well told story can work wonders for your retention rate. So, next time you sit down to create a video, don't just think about the facts. Think about the story you are telling. It is what turns viewers into loyal fans. All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the art of storytelling and how it can help boost your view retention. If you found this helpful or you just laugh at my haunted fridge story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what is the funniest, weirdest thing that has ever happened to you while creating content. I need to hear these stories. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Happy creating, storytellers.